It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello. Hi. Mariam in the building. Yeah. We missed you for a whole week.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm fine. I went to just, impromptu. It was quite impromptu.
Yeah.
My kids had gone for holiday, and it just happened that my daughter had to get surgery. She had her adenoids taken out and her tonsils as well. Yeah. And it was... Thankfully, it was successful, and she's doing better.
Your mom was proud because, she made you feel good, like, come to Jos, don't go to that Lagos hospital, come to Jos, we'll sort you out.
See, let's not to make Luth seem like he didn't do it, I just wanted a second opinion. Since my mom has worked in Jews, for over 30-something years, I just wanted, she had a relationship with that. With the doctors, and growing up as well, that was where I went for all my treatments.
Good to have you back.
So, thank you. Thank you.
Limat. How you doing?
Very well.
How's your weekend?
Today is Laolu's birthday. Laolu is Yolu.
That's
her first son. And he's one of the most grounded young men I've seen. He's calm, cool, collected, focused. The kind of young men you want to have around you, the kind of conversations you want to hear young people have. So happy birthday, Laolu. But then again, I was dressed today, styled by modestly posh clothing.
Oh, it's so
He's
pretty.
He's a Muslim stylist in Lagos and a childhood friend of mine.
You look beautiful.
The
camera doesn't even pick the, glitter on the veil. It's so pretty.
Everything.
It's so very nice.
Everything. Thank you. Even though I wanted nothing, but she insisted. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Rajila, how was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was good. I was just home in between reading and watching movies on Netflix. So I was home alone. Hobby had to do.
Where are the kids?
I shipped them off. You know the way I do that. I just wanted that quiet time for myself, and I had it because Hobby was away. So I was just home. I did some work, tried to read a bit, plenty projects and assignments which I haven't touched. So I did that a bit, watched movies, ate, slept. So it was a restful weekend for me. But I saw your picture. Give us gist.
She don't feel escape. If she's so much
Yemi Adamalekun's birthday, please. It was in church. City of David was there. It was really nice to have. She celebrated her birthday in church. And it was fantastic. And I was so happy to be there.
And the other one that you went for.
Mariam, what did you bring from just for us?
No, you went for a very grand
party.
You went for an 80th birthday.
You bring Lagos party that
It was a nice party. Can we move on now?
The menu. Don't mind Morayo.
No, it was
you're holding your gist.
No, it was a nice party. It was fun. Honestly,
I met a lot of people.
I was just minding my business as usual. And somebody just came to me and said, Mariah, I did your wedding. I want to take a picture. So he started taking my pictures everywhere. And he just sent me these pictures. And I was like, I didn't realize he captured so many moments and everything. It was nice. It was just good to see people that I grew up with, a lot of my friends that I grew up with. I left that circle for my own personal reasons. But now I'm back, and I'm back as Morayo Afolabi Brown, and so I was comfortable in that mix. Growing up, you just feel like, let me not be doing what I shouldn't be doing at that period. But thank God that
you're back as a celeb now.
I've made my own name. People know me.
I like that.
I'm not pitching. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to feel among. I am being
here on your own
on my own rights. I've earned the right to be here, so that feels good. So it was good. It was just fun to be there. I was happy. I was happy today. Anyways, let's go. Let's see serious business. It's Monday. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, let's start with The Nation as usual. Operation Amotekun legal, says Sage and Ekiti lawyers. Anxiety as Apex Court considers 7 governors' fate. Oshodi Abule Egba BRT lane ready in May, says Sanwo-Olu. Abiodun to receive Isiaka, Badru others into APC. Maid kills baby. Experts caution federal government on $30 billion loan plan. Sale of UTME forms begin today, and INEC may opt for e-result transmission. Okay, let's start with, I'm going to take it all over the paper, so let's not take it here. Let's start with this human interest story. Baby kills baby, maid kills baby. What's that about?
So this actually happened in Owerri, and a 16-year-old maid, Hope Isifanus allegedly killed this 2-year-old baby for whatever reason, strangled her, then prepared her like she was sleeping. The mother, who was a petty trader, got back from the market, decided to eat and rest a bit before, because she had told the mother that the baby was sleeping. Only for after a few hours, she realized that the baby hasn't made a sound, and then checked, took the baby to the hospital and found that the baby was dead. They found that the baby was strangled. So investigations are ongoing. We don't have a reason yet why the maid, a 16-year-old maid, decided to, you know, strangle a baby. But I would say that we should try as much as possible to, first of all, get adults to handle our children.
Just hope that you don't bring in someone that has mental problems into your home.
Really sad. Then this should the Abule Egbaya BR today. Governor Sanwo-Olu was saying by May.
By May this year that it will be ready. That's good news to the people in that axis, because, you know, of course, an alternative free traffic will be launched soon. It's been under construction since somebody's time. And now they're saying about 70% of it is complete, and they will
and they're projecting about 9 million passengers daily. Yep. And they said that Nigerians, which actually the contractor was purely Nigerian crew, and they worked even during the rains.
If, if the contractors of that axis are Nigerians, I give them.
As in,
I mean,
because the foreigners on our side, they were not.
It was even said that foreigners don't work on holiday when it's raining, but these Nigerians, they worked in the rain. So we're happy that Nigerians are being used.
Who coordinated them? Nigerian too.
I'm sure.
Doesn't matter.
Moving on to the Punch. Carry illegal arms, be arrested. Police wants OPC hunters. That's relating to the operation at Motekun. Cobbler rapes graduate, shares nude video with friends. Ogun ex-deputy governor, former PDP chairman, secretary to join APC. Labour Ekiti reach agreement, strike suspended. That's the Ekiti University Teaching Hospital. TCN to push this for Disco's recapitalization. Aregweshola blames porous borders for arms proliferation, illegal aliens. 11 airlines inactive failed to renew licenses. And Oshimbajo governors hailed troops on Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Okay, let's start with the human interest story.
Yeah, so this cobbler, he invited this lady to his place. She had asked him to help her get a phone, and he asked her to come and get it. And when she got there, he proceeded to rape her, took her clothes and soaked them in water, and then took a video of her. And he sent it to his friends, and then decided to kill her. But while he was in the process of trying to kill her, his mom calls him on the phone to meet her at the estate gate. So while he was going to meet his mom, she used the opportunity to escape and reported at the one of the Mowe police stations. And that's how he was, well, he was on the run when he was finally arrested. And he was asked why he took a video. He said he figured that she may want to report him or something. That's why he sent the video to his friends. So that's the thing, you know, we have cases of rape where they'll blackmail you, or they'll say, well, it was actually consensual after all, you understand? So that's what he was trying to do. Thank God that girl was not killed on top of that.
Let's talk about Aregweshola. They mean porous borders.
Yes, so the Minister of Interior, Aregweshola, is saying that most of the issues we have with aliens, the influx of aliens and the proliferation of...
You say aliens?
Aliens, that's
from
people,
Mars.
Yeah, foreigners, aliens. So it's because of our porous border. So he is backing the closure, the partial closure, the full closure of the border, saying that the security agencies need to work in collaboration with each other to ensure that they, you know, sort out our internal security. Basically, it was just more of an advice.
Yeah, but, okay, moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. Military kills 100 bandits, 31 injured on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway accident. Amotekun, no hidden agenda, not alternative to the army, says the Dawn DG. 2023, I never asked Buhari to handpick successor, says Bakare. How ban on midwives' employment spiked maternal infant mortality? And finally, to Buhari, no law backs your family members to use presidential aircrafts. Okay, so the presidential aircrafts are a hot topic. Amotekun is obviously our topic today, but I'd like us somebody just give us a recap of what the papers are saying.
Okay, so
what's that story?
Across board, the papers are saying some groups in the southwest are opposing the 13,500. While criticism are coming, fears that other people have, they are saying, no, Amotekun is not a breach, it does not breach any part of our constitution. It does not, you know, pose any risk to the unity of the country, and a lot of other issues like that addressed. But the issue of 13,500 now and 50,000 now is kind of complicating this Southwest issue.
No, but well, according to the papers, it hasn't been agreed yet. The governors in the Southeast, Southwest are saying that they've not agreed on an exact fee. I think, I'm thinking now that maybe it was just supposed to be a proposed stipend at the time, but somebody was not proposing 50,000 naira. Somebody was proposing.
Yeah,
however,
farmers.
Yes, farmers are proposing
that, that's a flimsy amount of money that we should.
Okay, let's move on to Daily Trust. As I said, we're going to talk more about it a bit later. FG plans 88 million naira cook stoves for institutions. Despite CBN directive, petrol stations, malls still charge 15 naira stamp duty. 1 million passengers targeted daily at Oshodi interchange. An official arrested for allegedly pouring hot water on a 12-year-old girl. Let's start with the major headline.
Yes, so 5 years ago, the Ministry of Environment got involved with procurement of cook stoves, which they spent about 9.2 billion, and they were supposed to distribute it to rural women. But along the line, it wasn't properly, because according to the statistics here, the ministry got just 5 billion. The amount the contractors got was 1.3 billion. So they had a lot of court cases. The ministry, some of the stoves were not properly distributed and it was left. So we now hear now that they are beginning to share out the stoves to, officials in government who are selling out the stoves. Wow. Now back to 2020. The ministry again has decided to give about 2,000 stoves, not to rural women at the moment, but to institutions. And they are budgeting 88 million to handle this. So I'm worried about what is the essence of, although they've said it's a way of, trying to reduce firewood so that we don't cut down our trees and all of that. But I'm wondering, why do you want to procure stoves for institutions, with such an amount as budget?
I mean, especially given that 5 years ago, you did not do anything with the money.
Yes, and again, because they are still cutting wood.
I'm even confused. I don't know. I don't see the
They are cutting wood.
Okay, let's move on to the Vanguard. 13,000 naira pay threatens Operation Amotekun. Lagos government goes tough on Okada and Keke riders. Niger Delta leaders won't intervene if militants end ceasefire, says Clark. Ile Arugbo Kwara PDP petitions NRC. Use of presidential jet for private events by Buhari's family is illegal. How investors bought 19 trillion naira treasury bills in 2019. And 50th anniversary of end of civil war and the Igbo question. Very interesting article. Okay, let's start with the Ile Arugbo story.
Yes, so the Kwara State PDP is petitioning the National Human Rights Commission, demanding for a probe on the alleged use of ammunition to disperse the old women. They claim that they had old women who got a wind that they were coming to destroy the building, and then they gathered there, but then they claim that they used tear gas and all those ammunition to disperse them. So
there was a report that said
that probe into they are seeking for that proper investigation into what actually happened, since the police is denying.
When this thing broke, I thought the news was that they came in at 3 a.m. in the morning when there was nobody there.
So
they demolish. But now there's a different story now saying that they had to use tear gas to disperse. Yes. So I don't know. We'll have to now, hopefully investigation will let us know exactly what transpired.
Yeah, so Lagos State and the motorcyclists, Okada riders. So Lagos State is saying it's going to step up the traffic laws, and make sure the enforcement is done better, because for 3 years now, they record over 200 motorcycle accidents monthly. And this is obviously a serious issue, and they need to look into how these Okada riders and motorcycle riders,
tricycles,
behave themselves on the roads. One thing I noticed in Jos, you hardly get taxis, so you see a lot of the tricycles. Okay. And from what I saw, they were actually better organized there, but traffic is not as heavy as it is here in Lagos. So maybe also, apart from just focusing on the tricycles, maybe there has to be a sort of education on how the tricycles can work alongside with the cars on the same road.
I think once we even get the multiple avenues, because now that they're going to start the blue line, they start this more BRT lanes, it will reduce the congestion. So hopefully they can start the tricycles, it won't be as bad as it is now. Just like
but we can also take note of our own social condition, our own society in Lagos. and create Okada lanes as well. Because
Yeah, unfortunately, that wasn't planned in the Lagos master plan.
Because
we
see documentaries from the countries that are building our
but I
bridges,
don't know if,
and we see that they have a bicycle lane. They have,
do we have that kind of space in Lagos? Maybe in Jos we can create that, but in Lagos already
is expanding presently the Badagry Expressway. If we were foresighted, it's something we would have taken care of.
Okay,
and
Daily Sun. Tension as Ihidioha, Autumn, and Tambo are no fate today. CBN to bar vessel importers from Forex in 2022. 2023 crisis brews in PDP as stakeholders move against seconders and others. Lagos moves to tame commercial motorcycles, and Global Funds earmarks $890 million to fight HIV, tuberculosis, malaria in Nigeria. Okay, let's move on. Daily Times very quickly. Welfare of armed forces personnel, a priority is on Shibajo. And the meeting with Tinubu article is fake. Maku declares. Any story there? I know our vice president was commemorating the, I think, Armed Forces Remembrance Day. And they were saying that the welfare of our armies is priority, and we don't take what they're doing lightly as Nigerians. And he was thanking them on behalf of Nigerians and the entire presidency that we appreciate what they're doing for us out there. Moving on to The Guardian very quickly. Senate to make access to food fundamental right. Picture here, the cake of Razak Okoya was huge. It was like an estate. They built, these are all cakes. These houses you see, they're all cakes. I mean, I don't
Did you get a piece?
Of course not. But I mean, lots of houses. I mean, it was huge. So everybody was trying to cut the cake alongside him there. More riffs on Amotekun as Kano Mo's community policing. Okay, I think that's all we can take on front page review today. When we come back, as I said, this issue of the president's daughter or family members using the presidential jet is hot. We'd like to hear your thoughts on it. And later, we'll discuss very extensively this issue of Operation Amotekun. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, Hanan Buhari, a certified creative photographer and youngest daughter of President Muhammad Buhari, has sparked controversy on social media after flying our dear presidential jet. He's our own now. For her photo shoot in Bauchi State, according to reports, she had flown to with the presidential jet to attend a special Durbar ceremony in Bauchi. And the special advisor to the president said it was authorized. But what are your thoughts on this? People are complaining and saying, criticizing it, that it's totally wrong for her to fly the presidential jet. Others are saying it's not constitutional. Others are saying it totally negates the president's fight against corruption. I'm not sure how it relates, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think it was right? What are your thoughts on the fact that she flew the presidential jet for her private event?
Yeah. We do not run a monarchy, where it's the family that owns everything, and, we give out orders based on the family system. What we run is a presidential system of government under the framework of a democratic republic. And that means that every property of the state, you are just there as a custodian of that. And you need to respect the taxpayers who are funding what you are enjoying at that moment. Now, I was a bit, not so upset, but I just felt that we shouldn't get to a point where our leaders take Nigerians for granted. Nigeria is bigger than any president or anybody. We should try as much as possible to set a precedent for tomorrow's sake. Now, I looked through the budgeting for that presidential fleet from 2011 to 2020. 2011, they spent over 17.998 billion to service it. 2012, 3.54 billion. 2013, 7.5 billion. 2014, 7.97 billion. 2015, 2016, 17, 18, 19. Right. So we've spent over 90 billion in servicing that, presidential fleet, which even the president himself, while he was campaigning for elections in 2015, promised us that he was going to sell off some to be able to save money, which we have not seen.
Let me pause you for a second, because I'd like to get our viewers' thoughts on this. You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet us at TVC. Can I please hashtag your TVC so we can read your tweets. Nima, before you jump in, there were some people saying that, don't our family members enter our official cars? Don't we have people, because there are some people that drive their spouses' official cars all through. So because these are cars that the companies are funding. If somebody is funding it, so let's try to weigh both options and see.
Let me wait until I have official car.
Yeah.
Before I have to know, because I personally find it annoying when I find people do those things where your company fuels your car and you allow your children to take it to school. So such things, or your child is going to school, ask the company driver to take your child to school. Your child is not, I think, is an abuse of office. But that's aside. The President Muhammad Buhari himself took inventory of our number of airplanes under the presidential fleet and promised us that to curb wastage, he was going to sell out some. And he was at the time advised to convert some to the Nigerian Airways. We have not achieved that, and those airplanes have been continuously abused, not only by his daughter, but even by some officials in the past. The rumors were everywhere. Now, this same President Muhammad Buhari promised a lot of other things that we've not found since 2015 to be done. One of the shocking ones was to find out that, you know, even when they said there was not office of the First Lady, that there was one, and they did not allow the First Lady of praise. So a lot of things are not connecting under him. This wasn't the President Muhammadu Buhari of integrity that Nigerians know. And I think it should bother him because, you see, for me as a person, I might not be able to put a lot of things to paper, but I like to put my money where my mouth is. I like people to trust my word and let my word be my bond.
I get your point. So I'll come to Mira because some others are saying that, is it safe for the first family to be flying commercial planes? I mean,
already we have attacked
let me have Miriam's view on this. Do you think it was right for her to fly?
I actually waited because my opinion is quite unpopular.
Yes.
I do not, I don't know if it's unconstitutional. I didn't
it's
see
not
anything.
Clear in the
yes,
Constitution.
exactly.
Clear.
So the Constitution does not state that, you know, the family cannot make use of the presidential jet. And could it be unethical? You know, I don't know, because this is just part of the family. And as you mentioned, when you made an example of when you have an official car, people use them for, it's to aid you. Yeah. The reason you have those things is also to aid, to make your work easier. And part of making your work easier is make sure that family is sort of sorted out. So what I would have suggested is they would have done it like what I wanted to use. Michelle Obama had said one time that the food which is served at the White House, when they do dinners, they pay for it. Yeah. So it comes out of pocket. So in cases like that, where the family would have to, maybe the family would be given an invoice for the aviation, you know, the fuel that may have taken her back and forth. But I don't think that a total ban on the family from using the jet, for me, it does not really make sense. I think we were taking it too far. I understand the anger. I understand the anger of, you know, you have promised that this particular fleet, we have the second largest fleet in this country next to Arik. That's a whole commercial airline. You know, you had promised that the planes would be sold. Right. They put 2 up for sale in 2016 or so. To buy it, I don't know if it's government's fault that nobody has come to buy those planes.
Right, point taken. Let me come to Rachel.
So, I don't have a problem with using the presidential fleet. After all, your father is the president. But you and I know that they will not make any provisions for her to pay for it. Now, she's not using it for an official duty. She's using it for her private business.
She's not appointed. She's not appointed. She's not
exactly. So she's using it for her
what
private.
Miriam is saying is that if she's allowed to use it, she should pay for that.
Exactly. That's what I expected.
That's a suggestion.
Garba Shehu, when he came out to make that, you know, came out to defend the fact that she used. I expected to say, okay, fine, she used it, but there's provision for her to pay for it. Right. So we need to start earning, you know, how do you call it when you pay for your services, your NEPA, your PHCN, pay as you go, you know, so you don't just, you know, base everything you do on the state.
Actually, there's an example of...
Let me come to Nima, because Nima, I like you too, because people are not comparing this, as you said earlier, that his fight against corruption is totally discredited with this act.
Yes,
but you also agree that the Constitution did not clearly state.
You know,
I know what the Constitution was saying that...
Even as a lawyer, that's why I didn't do Constitution. So I don't want to bother my head with whether it's allowed or not. But I know it's clear under the Constitution who was elected, and not Hanan was.
Yes.
The President, Muhammadu Buhari, was elected. And if he could separate that from his wife and those privileges taken by without question, I think he should not extend it to
what was suggested,
his daughter.
Let me read what I read was that what the Constitution was clear about is that no one but the person,
Exactly.
the president should use anything that has the presidential seal on it. That goes to his office, private things. So the airline does have the presidential seal.
Nigerian taxpayers' money can only fund the person sitting in the office of the president, which makes it unconstitutional to that extent that she wasn't elected. For her to use anything. Hold on a minute. When the president is on a journey or on any activity that involves the office of the president with his family, they can join him inside plane. I cannot just be going to Abuja and say, okay, but that is president. It's not our company plane, our big plane. You don't understand. Let us be going. No, that's what the problem is. And then I go on a photo. See, this is a young lady. I think it is also very important that you allow her earn our own name.
Thank you.
Because this is a presidential office they are holding. 2023 is already here. Some people are already permutating.
Let's not forget that she got first class.
India abroad.
I'm
just stating something.
I just want to end it. See, there has to be perks for being the child of the president. And the only way we
agree with their perks, but it shouldn't be on taxpayers.
Yes.
So what I'm saying, taxpayers.
Yes, Mariah agreed. So when we're talking about making sure we're raising children who will be independent and understand the value of money, so let the child know that there's an invoice at the end of this thing and it needs to be paid for.
That's not even
one thing. If we decide to just cancel it completely, things will happen and we would not know. They'll do it on the city. What will happen is that we'll do it on the ground.
Check the security details attached to this young lady.
People will pay for it.
They don't attack police to her now. She's safe. She's safe if she takes business class from here to Bauchi. She's very safe and she can afford it.
How do you know
if she's going to get on a business class? If she's going to get on a business class, right, she will go with her security. So that's how many seats and how many other people may be stopped from joining.
May I even quickly say that we haven't even gotten, we have not accepted the fact that Mama Ndaura is living there at the No, wait, it's taxpayers' money. We're still there. We're still struggling. States are still struggling to pay the 30,000 minimum wage, and we're using over 90 billion to service the presidential jet that somebody can just take for
that
bless you. It is not Nigeria Daura Limited. It is not Nigeria Daura Limited. It is the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
That's a different topic for a different day. But I think also we forgot to mention that the governor of Bauchi State that invited her should have sent some kind of a vehicle or something to pick her up because she was going there on his invite. So I totally agree that yes, there could be a moral question or ethical question actually of using the presidential fleet. Absolutely. But again, coming back to the members of the National Assembly, these laws must be very they must be cutthroat. We must know what is right and what is wrong. So those are the kind of things we need them to amend.
We need to review.
Review.
Make it
clear. That is very clear.
In the Constitution. The presidential fleet is clear in our Constitution. And I can quote a senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, this morning. It's clear, the 4 office holders who can use this: the president, the vice, the Senate president, and the
it tells us who can use it. It doesn't tell us who can. It doesn't use it.
Oh yeah, imagine all of them attached. Even me in-law,
children,
friend-in-law, family friend-in-law, village in-law, all of us inside.
They already do it.
Entitled mentality.
They already do that.
Unfortunately, that's what I really wanted
the wrong example.
Unfortunately, that's what to wrap up because I actually wanted to hear Nigerians' views and I was hoping to get 1 or 2 calls to get Nigerians. Do we have any tweets before I run away?
We didn't even check.
Any tweets, please? And I would like to hear Nigerians' views on this before we run, please.
Okay, let's check.
Sorry.
Don't talk, forget.
We forgot tweets.
No, they are tweets.
Okay, just 1 second, very quickly.
Omobola Mbab says, I think it is better for PMB's family to relocate to Daura. Since Nigerians didn't vote for them, we would like to relish in our inanity. Many of those ranting use official cars to run errands. Official cars are used to take madams to market with office drivers. That one is very wrong. Festus Akinboyewa says, if flying presidential jets is the best way we can secure our first family, so be it.
He says, if the constitution is silent on this, you have to look at the tradition in developed democracies. It is not done. No, it's not about feel. It's about plain but and maintain with your tax.
Let me just
they can travel with him.
Okay.
One call. Emeka, are you there? So we'll run up. Emeka?
Yeah, Emeka is here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please. Hurry up.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, my subjection is this. It is unethical. It is morally wrong. From inception, even before this president was elected, we all knew that he does not have any form of integrity. It was a...
Okay, for whatever reason, I thought that was why he was being elected in the first place. But either way, we have to rub on this.
Let me read
That's
this
all
last
we can
one.
take. Yes, go ahead.
Okay,
please.
so Tunde says, there's nothing to this, I beg. Papa give him daughter memory, which she go remember for a long time.
Yeah,
Every
babe.
good dad will do the same for a child worthy of it.
All right, on that note, we have to wrap up on this. When we come back, there's just this continuous conversation on Operation Amotekun. We're going to have a few people come on to tell us exactly what it's about, the operations. Hopefully at some point we get to know how much these people will be paid and every other thing, how it was constituted, the whole works on Amotekun. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. According to reports, governors in the Southwest Zone have flagged off the operations of the Western Nigeria Security Network, known as Amotekun. The reason behind it is to complement the mainstream security agencies in the country. Joining us now is a special advisor to the Oyo State Governor on Security, Mr. Fatai Owusheni. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome. You can call us on 07080668014. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Okay, so we know your state is like the headquarters somewhat of Amotekun, and we know that you're also quite involved in the entire constitution of this group. For those of us who are still very skeptical on what Amotekun stands for and the objective, could you clearly, in a nutshell, tell us why it was created, why there was need for Amotekun, and why and how it's being constituted? How are you getting the people coming together to form the members of Amotekun?
One, it was created to support the activities of the state actors that are involved in giving us security. And it was born out of the deteriorating security situation that we have in the country at large, and in the Southwest in particular. I've said somewhere, the operation is just codenamed Amotekun. You can as well call it vigilante group.
Okay.
You can as well call it neighborhood watch.
Okay.
You have neighborhood watch corps in Lagos, so you can as well say that is the neighborhood watch corps for Southwest. It is just more of, okay, let us do things together, let us cooperate, let us be the back end. So these are non-state actors being used. Who are the non-state actors? The vigilante. There's nothing new. The Nigeria police has always worked with vigilante. It's just that we don't have them as an organized group.
That raises
can
why
be remunerated.
another question.
Yes.
Why are there clashes of interest with the police now? Because this morning, the PRO for Ogun State was saying that they are not allowed to carry arms. They stand the risk of being arrested if they do carry arms. Dawn is saying they can carry weapons.
Guns.
Why is our recognized security institutions having a problem with this setup?
The Nigeria police has not said that they're opposed to the creation of Amotekun.
Okay.
Not at all. Everybody is just sending out narratives. Very unfortunate and embarrassing that as a lot of people are educated and the so-called big men, they colorate issues of security ethnically, religiously. For God's sake, some of the states have been operating things similar to this.
Yeah.
You have Isba in the north. Nobody has talked. They have a kind of vigilante arrangement in Anambra. And no one, all the people that have been talking, no one has come to say, oh, I've seen the concept of operations of Amotekun. The issue of carrying dead guns, I was misquoted. When I was on channels, your colleagues had asked, would they carry weapons? And I said to them, look, some of the elements that will form, that will work with the state actors on that, some of them have been hunters. In the villages that we are all from, people go to farm with their dogs, with their den gun. It is not illegal. There are some states that are using that are lawfully and illegally approved to use pump action for their operation. No one has talked about that. The elites are the problem, the educated are the problem. Anything that is going to benefit the masses, they will corrupt the mind of the masses and they'll be giving interpretation, corrupt the interpretation. For God's sake, everybody is saying, we want to know their modes of operation. If you want to know the modes of operation, then you are a criminal. In security, it's not everything you disclose.
Right.
And as I've said, vigilante had always worked with the police. We have a standard operation procedure.
Right.
I served in the police for 35 years. I was here in Lagos as commissioner of police. I worked with vigilante group, different vigilante groups, but they are not organized. You are now having an organized non-state actors to support.
But sir, some of these allegations are, it's what people have picked up from the actions that they see. The inauguration, which happened on Thursday last week, did not have even the Inspector General present, and they're supposed to be, complementing the police, as you say now. So if you don't see the fourth people in the mainstream, security agencies supporting supporting this, security outfit, it seems like there's a clash. It suggests that. So what do you say when?
Number one, the Inspector General does not have to be there when they are launching. That is one. Secondly, most of the elements that are going to be used, I can talk of Lagos where I've worked in Benue, and even in Oyo State. All the states here in Lagos, they have a law that is enacted that administer and guide the way neighborhood ward is operated. In most of the states, you also have laws that are passed for vigilante people. There's the vigilante group of Nigeria. Each of the states has that.
Okay.
There is practically no state that don't have a law setting up community development association, and that's the umbrella under which they relate. And the Nigeria police has been part of this for a very long time. The DFID as a program, I brought it out last week. There is what they call guidelines for voluntary policing sector. And while I was there, they were very strong around Agege. We extended it to most of the states. They meet with the police regularly. It doesn't mean that the Inspector General of Police has to sit down there. Right. People are giving all sort of narratives. Very, very unfortunate. Okay, no one has seen the concept. Someone is saying they will pay them this amount of money. Look, let the people that are going to run this thing come and talk.
Right.
Okay. I just have to also be fair. There are people who have applauded, this project. I mean, we have the people in southern Kaduna, Middle Belt, the Middle Belt region. They've all applauded it and, asking for something like that for them as well. But Mieti Allah has spoken, and they're saying that they hope this would not be something like what happened in Benue State, where they set up the livestock guard. And for them, they felt that it was used against them. They were being rustled, monies were taken from them, and they're asking the questions that, is this different? Hope there will not be injustices, meted against us from this thing that is being created. It may be annoying, but it is fair to ask these questions. And then it's good that when you have an opportunity like this, to make it clear to Nigerians what it truly stands for.
You will not like it if you are a criminal. Those elements are supposed to operate within their neighborhood. They know the terrain. I have given examples from Ibadan, where I came from this morning. If you are going to Ijebu-Igbo, which is Ogun State, from Akara, there's a main road that leads to Ijebu-Igbo from Akara in Ibadan. There are also footpaths inside the bushes that lead to Akara, and you are getting these elements that are called Neighborhood Watch Vigilante, but the operation is codenamed Amotekun for the purpose of networking. They were born in that village. They can tell you that there are 50 footpaths that lead from Akara to Ijebu. It's like where we're sitting down now. You can enter this place from different angles.
I believe it's a general statement when you say that you have to be a criminal to question the mode of operation or demand to know. I believe that it's too general, because for fear of human rights abuses, you might want to question to know exactly what their limits and extents are, so that you don't cross them or have any issues with them. There's always the likelihood of someone in position abusing that position.
Even the state actors, the police, the military, the SSS, are Nigerians still not saying that they are trampling on people's rights? These people have not even started. It's like you have an Olode in front of your house.
But
It's
so
coming
let
through
me
there.
rephrase. So let me try to hang in. Let me try to rephrase what I'm hearing.
Yes.
We are giving these people license, obviously, to gather intelligence, to go into the bushes. We're saying that there are some people who are doing legitimate herdsmen businesses that may come in contact with these Amotekun group. And then because now your job is to either arrest or to alert the police about these people, you might actually abuse it such that you are targeting these people wrongly.
The guideline is very simple.
Okay.
The power you have of arrest is the same power they have of arrest.
Okay.
It's a different thing if you say they are creating a detention camp or a cell. Every citizen has a power of arrest. So they can also give information. I've said liken them to CCTV. In security, there's something we call human intelligence. It is for them to be at the back end. We've seen this. And when you talk of Mietiala, you talk of people that are rearing animals. The states that have that law, every law must be obeyed. So if that state has that law and you give information, what are we talking about? If I'm rearing my animals and I've gone deliberately to go and destroy somebody's farms, is it also lawful? Is it right? And they've given information to the state actors to say, this is what we've seen. In order not to have conflict, come and
which is why they say knowledge is power. So a person asking questions simply needs clarity. So if you give clarity, this is what they would be doing, this is how they work, this is how they will operate, people will relax.
Most of us don't want to
the PR around
wait for that.
Amotekun has not really been up at par, if you ask me. I believe that they should educate people more on why and how they will operate. People, you will just have someone living around you, watching you, and you really don't know who is who. You don't know the line of abuse. When you get to the police station, there might be a clash of interest as well. So
but
I think we should probably
watching you now when you have
educate.
vigilante and neighborhood watch around. Some of the neighborhood watch are not wearing uniform.
I want to come to that.
They watch what you do. The vigilante, when I was there, I've cited examples. There are some of the deadly criminals that we got arrested here. The information, the partnership from them. What do they call community policing? That's what they call community policing. But the elites, because they have the opportunity, anything that is going to benefit the masses, they want to corrupt it.
Okay, let me have to go on a break because I want to bring in our second guest to join you because I need to understand how effective this, because you've been a police in Lagos State and you know how things are, especially even in Benue State. Gathering intelligence, if that's going to be their core, and you're not going to arm them, some people are worried that, are you sure these people wouldn't need to be armed at some point?
Would it be effective?
Would it be effective? Just all they're doing is just driving their trucks into the bushes, looking around, snooping around, and giving. It's like, how effective would this be? But we'll talk about that when we come back from this break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. We have with us the former military intelligence officer, Captain Ali Umar Babangida. Welcome to the show, sir. Good to have you.
Thank
You can call us again on 070-806-6814. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag UVTVC so we can read your tweets. All right. So, as an ex-military man, in your view, the proposed operation of Amotekun, how effective do you think it will be? Because Nigerians are feeling like this is just another organization. We have so many groups in various states. We have Lagos has the LNSC, all the various neighborhood watches, everybody creating something in their various cocoons. But now they're having something wider. Is it going to be more effective, or should we revert back to what we have in the various states? What are your thoughts on it?
Effective or not will depend on the actors involved in bringing it together. But what I can tell you is the formation of Amotekun is itself indicative of something. We are looking at an age and a time where it has become apt, pertinent, that our governors are beginning to consider regional security initiatives, bilateral and multilateral. And if we're to explain it to the average person out there, the way we could put it is very clear and simple. Is there a demand for security? And is the supply available optimal? So if we were to go out there now and buy one sweet or one tom-tom that we could eat and be secure for 1 month, will there be any particular Nigerian that can say a month has passed where he ate the available brand of that sweet and he had security for 30 round days, given the proliferation of acts of crime? For example, on my data from 1st January till today, you need to see what has happened in this country across board. So basically what we are seeing is a situation where the yearnings of the people is informative and indicative to the developments we are seeing today. It's not only about Amotekun. There are other regions, or let me say other governors, that have already indicated interest in doing something similar. So now that we have not any doubts concerning the push-pull, that is demand and supply.
I'll let you continue. I'll let you jump in. I want to. There's this continuous conversation about restructuring. Everybody say regional policing. We've been fighting it in the House of the National Assembly back and forth. There's no clear direction. But with Amotekun now, and possibly others, people are saying it's possibly a backdoor approach to that regional policing, and gradually we start sipping into that true federalism system that people are clamoring for. Do you agree, or do you still think that? And I like also CP
straight on, restructuring is a no-brainer. For God's sake, I'm not 50 yet, but I'm close to that. I know Nigeria is more than that. If you had a house that your dad built 50 years ago, I'm sure your friends will be booing you by now if you haven't refurbished or renovated it. That house should be antiquated. You see, restructuring tends to give some people cold feet. But whether we like it or not, we evolve. We have evolved over the last, even the media evolves on a daily basis. No two newspapers of yesterday and today are identical. They carry news as in something new every morning. So that tells you within a 24-hour span, we have evolved to like 30 pages or 50 of a newspaper that it takes to contain news. So basically, we have to evolve because we are in a constant state of flux. So restructuring by any name, even you have restructured between last year, January 1, and now. You're a year older.
We are not disputing the need for restructuring. We're saying that this is a backdoor way of doing it, at least restructuring our security in Nigeria. If the Southwest is getting theirs, other regions will start to get theirs. Eventually, we'll get one in the East. Now, take for instance in the East, the people who know the region are people that most of us have alleged to be IPOB members. We have proscribed this group as a terrorist group, and the likelihood of having a security outfit in the East and then recruiting most likely members from that group, is it not a problem, a threat to the unity of the country?
Not at all. I'll tell you why. You see, if the center was how it is in my imagination, all they need do is to play Big Brother. And what is Big Brother? They're going to have their say. They're going to do it the way they want. You're going to actually draw the rules. And the rules should not be drawn with mischievous intent. You don't draw rules for them that will sabotage it and make it stillborn initially. Let me tell you why I say so. You see, IPOB and all these things, whichever way we choose to label them, let's not forget something. For me, a security officer, there is an indicator there. Why would they have formed these groups ab initio? You see, I have this lecturer that used to say, any way in a way. You see, when one way doesn't work,
for options. As
creatures of habit, and we are social in it, we will create options. We will create options.
Okay, before that time, let me let Mr. Former CP, Professor Oshini, respond to that, and I'll come to you, Bajulu. The issue of using this as a backdoor approach to restructuring.
Restructuring is a different thing. And security, when you talk of security, you don't talk of, you just using loose language to describe security. When it comes to security, it shouldn't be colorated ethnically. It shouldn't be colorated religiously.
Okay.
Why was Amotekun created? Why do we have vigilante group? For people not to resort to self-help, isn't it?
Yes.
When you are talking of cooperation amongst states as well, we once had what we call G8. G8 was the security outfit put up for the North Central. Yeah. They will meet, they will deploy. And we're also now talking of getting community people, non-state actors, involved in security with regards to information intelligence. And we are also talking of, who would support the state actors that are on the road. And that is where this had come in to say, okay, let us get these people together.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so, we've had like an age-long illness of interagency rivalry. We see the police, the army, the mainstream security outfits not really working well together. Now, what's the guarantee that with this Amotekun, that every outfit will work harmoniously?
Before you answer that question, I was just been told that I have the DG Dawn Commission Development for Western Nigeria, Mr. Sheye Oyeleye. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good to have you on the show.
One of my favorite programs.
Thank you. Very good, very good. We've been concerned about what we saw in the papers this morning. There have been issues of the fact that they're going to be paying 13,500 naira to each of these people. And I think the farmers' organization was saying that Agbakoya was suggesting that they should pay them 50,000 naira. Could you please clarify what has been agreed to pay to members of Amotekun?
Okay, thank you for that. You see, a lot of maybe because of this, we're in a social media age, people just sit behind their laptops and then put out a story and it goes viral. Let me tell you straight away that the way the Amotekun is operating is that the states, individual states, are responsible for the recruitment, and no state will be paying below the minimum wage for whoever they recruit. So this 13,005, someone plucked it from somewhere in the air and put it out in the space. We at no point during the implementation plan for Amotekun did we ever mention 13,005? No. So I'm actually mystified where the figure came from.
Wow. Do you think the states have the capacity to pay these monies, seeing that we have an issue with the minimum, we're struggling with the 30,000 naira minimum wage, and now we're going to have to recruit more people to join in this scheme? Do you think the states can actually pay?
Put it this way, if the states, if we're advocating, and I'm pleased, pick my words carefully here, if we are advocating state police as an example, assuming that tomorrow morning state police was approved, the states will have to pay their policemen. Now, let me go further. Presently, and people don't know that, a lot of the funding for the police is actually being done by the states. Anyway, Amotekun will be funded mostly from the states through their security trust funds. So I see no difficulty at all in paying the personnel. Again, I have to emphasize, this is not one army or that is being set up and they will be paid centrally. No. As I said to you, the states are recruiting, so if your state has 300 members in your Amotekun, the state will pay. And I'm not sure any state will be paying below the minimum wage. Okay. This 13.5 figure will not went viral.
Point taken.
Last week in the papers, there were also allegations that, all the governors were not in consensus on this, considering that some of the governors were absent at the commissioning of the Amotekun project in Oyo.
Again, 5 governors were there. 3 governors and 2, no, let me finish. 5 governors were there. 3 governors and 2 deputies. Oh, yeah. The deputies represented their principals. You see, the challenge is we like to major on minor in Nigeria. All the states sent in their vehicles for the launch. All the states, including the personnel, which clearly shows the 6 states are in sync They were all painted in the same color, the same logo. I'm not sure a governor who didn't come would have sent in his vehicles or the personnel if he wasn't interested. The governors that didn't come had genuine reasons for not coming.
Thank you very much.
It wasn't that they're taking it lightly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oyele. Unfortunately, I have to let you go. We're running out of time. Thank you so much. Let me let him answer the last question and we'll run off on a break.
You were talking about
Synergy.
synergy, and I must tell you, the truth be told, like any initiative, there will be teething problems. There will be those unforeseen I's and T's that will come across. The advice here is we must first and foremost make those problems vehicles for learning and honing in to become better. What I'm seeing right now is people are already giving the dog a bad name so they can hang it.
Okay.
But that does not conflict with the fact that the same people are crying that our insecurity index is at an all-time high.
Gotcha. All right. Let's go on a quick. When we come back, we'll try to wrap up on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Yes, Mariam had a question.
Yes, sir. As a former military intelligence officer, I just want your opinion, honestly, that do you think a group like this without arms will work? We're talking of kidnappers. We're talking of armed robbers. You know, these are the reasons why it has been set up. And we're saying they're going to go in without any arms and ammunition. As someone who's worked, you know, close in intelligence unit, what do you think?
Let me first of all tell you something about what I think before I explain what you've said.
Okay.
I think our federal government has what I call a security complex. And that security complex is akin to thinking that we just have to do it all. Trying to secure Nigeria federally is like using a fishing net and trying to use it to catch tadpoles. At this point on 2019 Earth, if we are not thinking regional security initiatives across all regions, then we are not getting anywhere because the criminals are getting bolder. Some few days ago, they went and took on a former president. Does that tell you anything? They have no reckoning for law. And what is the advantage of regional initiatives? They complement that which is federal, and the regions have more native ability than the federalists will ever have. Native ability is about giving the dog the bone around his neck. He cannot eat it. So in simple English, you take policing, you take security to the people. If democracy is government for the people, by the people, right? Security can also be security for the people, by the people. So how we take it from here will inform whether these guys will use catapults or they will be armed properly to meet the threat. I mean, bandits and all sorts are carrying very sophisticated weapons, and we are not
sure yet at this point if they will be using
We are not sure yet, but the way we go about it, both the actors and the appraisers will determine whether they gain beautiful. Exactly, exactly.
I have to wrap up now, but I'd like you, Mr. Fatai, to say something, because I know your state is at the forefront of this, and the Governor Makinde is really, he's driving, I'm told he's driving this. Could you tell us what, if headquarters being in Oyo State, how would that work with all the other states?
I can tell you the headquarters of Dawn Commission is in Ibadan.
Okay.
But no one has said this is the headquarters of Amotekun.
Okay.
The DG has made it clear. Okay. Each of the states will operate. But as Governor Fahimi put it, there will be a situation where you have handshake. You are share intelligence and to help your operation. And that
Thank you
is
so
it.
much, sir. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Hope you got some clarity on Operation Amotekun. When does it start again? It started, right? I guess some states don't have trucks yet, so don't have vehicles.
All the state brought their vehicles to Ibadan.
Yes,
it's still an ongoing thing. The structure has been put up. Right. That is why I said everybody is just making comment. Okay. Each of the states is putting up the structure, and as we go on, it will be clear.
That's all we can take on the show today. I hope you learned more about this Operation Amotekun. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
We like the name.
Like the name.